Well, what's going on, guys? Astro with Hidden Profits Crypto here. Before we get into today's video, I, as usual, want to give a huge thanks to everybody who's been supporting the channel. We're getting really close to 300 subscribers, and I can't thank you guys enough. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into today's coin. So today we are taking a look at Happy. Now, if you or anybody else has ever struggled with mental illness like depression, anxiety, or anything like that, then you know how much of a real pain in the ass it can be. This coin, Happy, is a charity-oriented token that helps fight mental illness across the world. So let's go ahead and get a little deeper into Happy and see, what it's all about. The world needs Happy. Mental illness is a silent battle for 10% of the world's population. It has touched almost every person on Earth, and yet it's something we still never talk about. Why? Despite serious progress in the past decade, mental health is still heavily stigmatized and under research. HappyCoin is a token that sets out to change this. I personally have dealt with depression and anxiety a lot in my life, so I can relate to this a lot. And I definitely do think that mental illness is something that we really just, in general, we just don't put enough attention into it, man. You know, a lot of people really care about their bodies and how they look and how other people perceive them. But when it comes down to it, you can still be depressed and have a mental illness and nobody even sees it, you know? So people take physical issues a lot more serious than mental issues. And I do really think that mental illness needs to be more openly talked about. People need to understand that, like, there are a lot of mental illness issues in not only the world, but in the US. And we just push it to the side, you know? We don't really care. We live in a culture where if something's wrong or if you're upset about something, people just tell you to just get over it and just feel better. And sometimes it's just not that easy, you know? So I think having a crypto that is going to bring a little light to mental illness and just like depression and just the idea of HappyCoin, the name, the image, it's just positivity. And I like that a lot. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out the white paper. All right, here we are on the white paper. Let's go ahead and look at why Happy and why the world needs Happy. We are raised with the understanding that our physical health is important, but what about our mental health? Approximately 10% of the population experience moderate to severe but treatable symptoms of mental illness. However, many of us struggle to access appropriate care and supporting resources. So I do want to give my opinion on this. I really do genuinely feel like we do not give people the ability to access help when it comes to mental illness, and going to a therapist or something like that is just not enough. And the worst part about it is you really can't go to those kind of places without just being labeled. You know, if you go to a therapist or something like that, people automatically assume, well, there's something wrong with him. And then once you go in there and get diagnosed, you know, that you have like, a severe depression or something along those lines, you know, then that's a label that's stuck with you for the rest of your life. And I definitely think we need to make it more socially acceptable, that there's something wrong with you, you know, it's not anything to be ashamed of. Anyways, let me quit preaching and let's get back to the coin. The stigma around mental illness is a deadly one. Societal expectations to conform to neurotypical behavior patterns means that mental illness is frequently considered a weakness or a choice as opposed to a real quantifiable disease. That is why we're here and happy to help. We're using cryptocurrency to revolutionize the way mental health treatment is approached. All right, about us. We are more than just an experienced team of developers, project managers, and community leaders with many successful projects in our collective portfolio. We are human. We are individuals with friends, families, jobs, hopes, dreams, disappointments, and struggles. Just like those who share this community with us, we share the experiences of so many others who are silenced by this stigma, witnessing this suffering in our loved ones and even in ourselves. We aren't just a charity token. This is personal to us too. And this is something that can connect with a lot of people. I think, especially with crypto, you kind of get lost in the fact that, like, behind the people buying the coin, behind the people making the project, behind all of that, there's humans. We're all people. Like, we all, we're all in this together for real. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out financial freedom. Our economic system plays a major role in undermining mental health. When human labor is commodified, it removes our ability to advocate for our own well-being. In many developed countries, productivity is wrung out of exhausted and under-resourced workers, leaving them with little to no access to avenues of rest and healing. Under the status quo, a lack of steady income is synonymous with the lack of consistent medical support, which is a big issue. A lot of places around the world, I feel like that's a huge issue. You work, and then when it comes to needing any sort of medical treatment or anything like that, it's just not available. DeFi currencies are flipping the script by giving power back to the individual. Part of why cryptocurrency is going viral is because of the capacity it lightens the burden of the lower and middle class. Happy is our solution to not only helping those who experience the pain and the isolation of mental illness, it is also a way to remove stress from our holders by facilitating economic security. All right, redefining health. From a young age, we're taught that what we see should be always prioritized over how we feel. And this goes back to what I was talking about before. From media messaging to physical education to healthcare system itself, our bodies are treated as the one and true measurement of well-being. But what about brain chemistry? If there are no expectations to hide or ignore a broken arm, it is unacceptable to tell someone with a deadly disease, just try harder, or look on the bright side. Why is mental illness treated differently on a fundamental level? Again, I agree with this completely. Without getting too preachy, I agree. That's why it's time for change. We believe mental health deserves to be focused in all aspects of life, from education to daily living to professional and political structures with perpetuate harmful patterns. Happy aims to shed light on mental illness epidemic and break the silence surrounding it. All right. And then donations. With so many in need, trying to find a place to start can be overwhelming. But we understand that when something feels too big to manage, the best way to move forward is by starting small. To address our cause and the world around us, Happy uses these tactics to structure our donation schedule. So every Friday, the team will confer with the community and decide which mental health association will receive the weekly donations. With each successful contribution, we will share our joy and celebrate with you by posting it on Twitter, Telegram, and other official platforms. You'll see Happy coordinating real and meaningful aid. We are already scheduled to donate $10,000 on April 23rd, 2021, and we're anticipating $500,000 in contributions by this time next year. Yeah, so that's great, man. I do really think that this project can really make a difference if it were to catch on, and I think just really giving money back to these mental health institutions to help bring awareness to this, and also just bringing it in the light in general. Mental health is something that is always pushed off, always kind of left in the shadows, and it is something that eventually needs to be in the spotlight. It's something that needs to be confronted, and we need to deal with it as not as a country, but just as humans. We need to understand that it's part of being human. Having issues with your mental health and needing help is normal, and there's nothing wrong with it, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. All right, and then we'll take a look at the roadmap on the actual website, because I believe it's up to date more than this one here. And then the tokenomics, 5% initial has been reserved, 2.5% was burned per the community's request, 2.5% belongs to the charity wallet, which makes donations every Friday. This is the total supply. Initial 30% burned, 700 trillion for circulating supply. And then the tax is 5% added to liquidity, and 5% goes to holders. All right, they refer to the audit, which we will take a look at in a second. And at the bottom here, we have some resources, some hotlines and organizations that help out if you need any of those. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back over to the website. Okay, so the Desert Swap audit is here if you want to go check it out. They were audited, I believe, last month, and that was taken care of. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out. We're not going to go over the tokenomics since we've already looked at it, but I did want to take a look at the roadmap. They're going to be doing their third donation. They're looking at doing website improvements, community live streams, merch. This was my big one, why I bought in, because I do think this can blow up very soon. I believe in the project a lot, and I really do think that there's a lot of potential. But if they get some big YouTubers or something like that talking about this coin, like I said, because mental health is such a big issue that so many people deal with, this is something I just feel like everybody can relate to. So I wanted to definitely get on board as early as possible before all these other influencers and stuff like that, whoever they are, start talking about it. More donations, major influencer partnerships, and we will see what that turns out to be, happy vlogs, and other CEX listings. And then in June, NFT marketplace, charity voting web app, which is cool, in-person donation and events, which is also cool, and then more coming soon. This is the founder, Sawyer. You can read about him if you would like, and then there's a LinkedIn. I don't have LinkedIn, so I can't actually check his profile, but there you go. He talks about mental illness a little bit and the role in his life and why he wanted to start Happy, where the donations, the community picks, and then some frequently asked questions. If you guys want to buy Happy, you can get it on Trust Wallet by swapping BNB, and the contract address is right here. Anyways, that's going to wrap up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed Happy, and I really hope you like the concept of it. I do think Happy has a lot of potential, and I do really think that it could catch on because of so many people, you know, who have experience with mental illness, and I feel like it's very relatable for a lot of people. So I do think that if it were to get out there, a lot of people will probably catch on to it, and I do also think that it just does a lot of good. You know, you're giving back to charities that are giving back to people who actually really need the help, and that's what's the most important thing, at least in this case. Anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it brought a little bit of happiness and a little positivity to your day-to-day, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Until next time, peace.